Hello, welcome to Match of the Day 3. Three subjects to mull over the next 5 minutes or so with Mark Lawrenson and Jason Roberts. Let's start with Chelsea beating Manchester United by 1-0. There was then huge debate over how they won that game. Does it really matter, the style of football, if they win the title?
No, absolutely not. And I think generally as well is you find that teams that win the title from sort of August, September through to Christmas is when they play the best football because the league's much more open, and after Christmas, obviously, teams avoiding relegation, teams trying to get in Europe, all those kind of things. Absolutely doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think this is the best Mourinho team in terms of style of play. I think that he's built previous teams, the teams he had with Robben and Duff, etc., I think was more expansive. But this team is good enough to win this league, and I think they're very, very disciplined. Defensively, they're very strong. I think Matic, the fact that Matic is one of their most effective players shows you the sort of route they're going down. I don't think Mourinho's going to be sitting up at night thinking we need to play more expansive football. He's gone there to do a job, and that's win the league, and I think he's going to go and do it.
They have been expansive at times, haven't they? I mean, you know, they put 5 past Swansea at Swansea, which not many sides are going to do. They do have Eden Hazard. It's not like they don't have flair players.
Fair point, but I think when people say that, they're usually saying it against the top sides. Against the top sides, especially away from home. Even at home, I mean, we saw it against Man United at home. First of all, he said, OK, we'll do what we need to do to get the result we need, which is we'll take the draw. But if we can nick a win, we will. And I think that's the attitude people are talking about more than anything. Yes, the players, but he fits them into a system that says, you're not going to beat us, and if we can score a goal, we'll take that too.
Not many sides win titles by ripping their immediate rivals apart playing free-flowing football. I mean, even the El Clasico is cagey, isn't it?
Yeah, but they make sure they don't get beat. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing. And, you know, the other thing, and I will say it always will do, is that if you can play poorly on a regular basis and win games, that's how you win the league. Yeah. It's not your 4 and your 5-0s at home. It's QPR away, not play particularly well, nick the 3 points. Hull away, they were all over the shop. You know, Stoke at home in the end, he just gets his team to get over the line. But the thing about Chelsea is they're the only team, I think, that's out there who, actually, if you wanted a team to defend for your life, you'd pick them.
Let's move on to the next subject, which involves Jurgen Klopp, who will be constantly in the news until he picks his next club when he eventually leaves Dortmund. Do you want him in the Premier League, and where should he go?
I would love to see him in the Premier League. I think his style of play and certainly his enthusiasm, the way he goes about his job, I think people would like to see him in the Premier League. What club would he go to at the moment in time? Would he go to a West Ham? Is there a Newcastle there for him? I think he's left a massive club in Dortmund. So I'm not sure that those 2 jobs would interest him if they were to come up at the end of the season. But I think I could see why the Premier League would want him.
Why would you want a bloke with a beard and glasses?
I have no idea. I have the similar discussions with the programme editors, all a bad dress sense, did you say?
Not Laurel.
What on earth? Yeah, look at Man and CNA over there. I just get the impression that he wants a project. He wants to get his teeth into something. And don't forget that, you know, at Dortmund, he's had to sell his best players every single year, so that's not a great problem. He's already been through that experience, and he might just be better at not one of the top 6, one of them a little bit lower, who he thinks he can really seriously improve. And I think it's like anything, when you get a job at one of those clubs, your contract and your first kind of meeting with whoever it is, you know, direct in charge of finance, is the one that you've got to win, so you've got a definitive path. But
yeah, but Laura, remember, at Dortmund he's won championships. Yeah. And he's won a championship, so I'll be surprised if he goes to a project that isn't leading towards winning a title.
What about if there aren't any projects available this summer for him that are at that level? So you took
that's a better question, because then who's he going to go to?
Exactly.
Manchester City would be arguably the only one. I don't think Brendan Rodgers is going to lose his job. Wenger's still going to be there. Obviously, Van Gaal. So
that's the risk he took, isn't it? That's the risk he took by announcing, if he hasn't got something in place already, that's the risk he's taken by saying, I'm going to leave the club and not having something in place. In reality, do we really believe he's going to say, I'm leaving a club and not having spoken to potential suitors?
You see that caption said, Klopp idle?
Yes.
Well, he is very idle at the moment, isn't he? Because he's going to pack in.
Yes.
Very good.
Very good, that, yeah.
Thought about that.
Yeah. Doesn't quite work on the spelling, but there we are. Right, let's move on to Newcastle. They've lost 6 in a row. John Carver won't get this job. I mean, Klopp's one person that you two have mentioned tonight. But what type of coach do they need? Because it won't be a manager, will it? It'll be a head coach, Newcastle.
At Newcastle?
Yeah.
Well, one, obviously, has to understand the way that Mike Ashley works. That's a big thing about it. I mean, Mike Ashley will give you money, but he won't let you buy top players. He'll let you buy a certain player who he thinks is going to improve, make better, and eventually sell on. It's a real strange and difficult one, this, for who's actually going to go there. And it's a bit, you know, as you said before, about, you know, picking somewhere to go. I think you have to be brave to go and work for Mike Ashley in Newcastle at the moment. Because the other thing as well is, as we saw in the game, you know, that against Tottenham, some of the punters are stopping going.
Yeah, and the fans demand a certain style of football as well. I don't think it's a club you can go to and just have winning football, the type of football that some managers like to bring. I think the fans have to be very careful what they wish for. Losing Alan Pardew, I think he has been and is a fantastic manager. And who comes in next will have to understand that Newcastle fans demand more than just stay in the league.
Do you think it has to be a British manager?
I don't think it has to be. I think it has to be someone who can work on a shoestring, bring players in, sell them for more, and recognise that they need to at least... I mean, they don't even have cup runs anymore. I think if you can deliver Newcastle fans 10th in the league and a good couple of cup runs, I think they'll take that at this moment in time. But you have to be a brave manager to go there at the moment.
It's a very unusual club, Mark, insofar as it's the biggest city in the country with only one team.
Huge.
That's the first thing. And they actually, you know, you've never seen so many 50-odd-year-old blokes walking around in a black and white shirt in your life. It's a little bit sad, actually, sometimes when you look at it. So it is a complete different pressure. They want... Every week, Newcastle play home, they want to go, the supporters, and be entertained.
Yeah.
And they'll take a 4-3 defeat. It's not a problem to them whatsoever, but are you going to get the right-minded manager to come in and do that? I don't think you are.
You will get someone, though, won't you? Because the cliché is, well, who will go and manage Newcastle at the moment, which is nonsense, because there'll always be somebody who wants to manage a Premier League.
There'll be 250 applicants.
And it's a massive football club as well, so there'll always be someone who back their judgment to go in there. I think they need to have someone who buys into the project that they have, because it's quite unique. There's not many clubs structured in the way that Newcastle are, so I think this next recruitment is going to have to be the right one. They're going to have to get it right.
Okay. Project.
Thank you very much to you both. We'll do another Match of the Day 3 next week.